Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. Good evening. Thank you for joining me for Kylie Control's 20th birthday celebration. I want to say happy birthday to Kylie Control, but I also want to say thank you. Thank you for being such a huge inspiration to so many people, tens of millions of fans of you, and thank you for just being a beautiful soul. I say this because I was always a really big supporter of Kylie Control. I almost instantly fell in love with her for the better part of the last 10 years. It has been a phenomenal decade watching Kylie Control's rise to superstardom. I think that there will never be someone who will ever replace her because of just how authentic she was, how different she was, and how she separated herself both musically and as an actress. Her resume definitely speaks for itself. Gabby Dern in The Unsittables, Tessa on Berserk, Jasmine on Raven's Home. I said here earlier today to myself when I was looking at pictures of Jasmine from the live-action Aladdin, and then I started looking at animated versions of Jasmine, I said, Kylie Control would make an awesome live-action Jasmine. Naomi Scott was one way of portraying Jasmine, but I think that Kylie Control could bring her to life in a whole new retrospective for fans of that classic. I love Descendants. For those of you who are new here, I really love Descendants. I fell in love with the franchise years ago. I still am just as much in love with it as I was a decade ago when Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson were really holding the torch of Descendants. They passed it on to Kylie Control and Mila Baker, who are doing a fabulous job. I love you guys dearly. I love this franchise. If there was one niche that I could fall in love with over again and befriend, it would be this one. You guys are incredibly supportive when I had nobody or nothing. You guys pulled me back from out of obscurity. You became my light out of darkness, and you have been holding that light, that torch, for forever for me, and I've always been able to overcome any amount of darkness that I've been able to encounter, and I've encountered my fair share of darkness throughout my 30-year journey. Thank you so much for just never quitting on me. You are the greatest fans in the world, and I believe you deserve better analogies than what you've been hearing about Descendants and Zombies, because I'm just tired of hearing people criticize it. So if you take a chance on me, if you hit my subscribe button, I could really use your help. And I promise you, from one heart to another, from mine to yours, that you will hear nothing but good things about your favorite Descendant stars, your favorite zombie stars, and this Worlds Collide tour we have happening, kicking off in July. Summer 2025 is going to be huge for every person who ever said they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies. If I have 1,000 girls subscribe to this YouTube channel, thank you so much from my heart to yours. I don't know where I would be tonight without each and every one of you, because I have had my heart broken time and time again. It has been a repetitive sequence for me with my heart. I seemingly could never make sense of any relationship that I was ever in. Tonight I sit here broken-hearted because of friendship that I had that I lost. And each and every one of you have been doing such a wonderful job putting my heart back together because of all the pain that I've had to endure. And I'm just talking about recent pain. I'm talking about pain that I've had to endure my entire life. Everything from personal struggles with my family, my personal life, my professional life. It's always been a constant struggle. But this niche has really brought me back to life. And I can't thank you enough for that. Sometimes Descendants come off as such a huge inspiration to either stand up for what you believe in, stand up against your bullies, to bestow courage into every single person who ever said they were a fan of Descendants, and I really, really like that. I don't think Disney has ever had a franchise that has been such a huge inspiration, captained by Dove Cameron and Kylie Control, as much as what Descendants has come off as. And I want to say thank you to the writers and producers for doing an absolutely fabulous job, even though they have received their fair share of criticism for putting this together. I would have loved to have seen the storyboard when Descendants first was presented to the Disney creative team, because this is a franchise that you can do so much with. And Kylie Control was just somebody that was just so fearless and just so full of life, and that's what jumped out about me when Kylie was just 11 years old. I used to watch her on a YouTube show. I was actually launching my first YouTube show in 2007, and Kylie started hers in like 2009, 2010, when all of her friends were dancing and singing on YouTube, and she wanted to make her own YouTube videos. And after persuading people, she got the opportunity to do it, and she blew up on YouTube in less than a year. She had 500,000 followers or something, 500,000 views, which was pretty impressive. I can only imagine having 500,000 views. I was on my way to 100,000 views. Just to put this into perspective for you, I was on my way to 100,000 views just last summer, and I couldn't even believe I was there. And by like July or by September or October of last year, I had accumulated over 120,000 plus views on this YouTube channel for critiquing Descendants and my opinions on Dove Cameron and her relationship with Ryan McCartan, which I held nothing back when I had my opinion expressed on Dove Cameron and Ryan McCartan and the way he treated her, which was absolutely unprofessional and uncalled for. In no way, shape, or form did I agree with how Ryan was perceiving himself or how their relationship was being perceived and how he was treating Dove Cameron. He got away with too much, and I just let him have it on this podcast. And I've apologized time and time again for my remarks about Ryan McCartan and that of Thomas Doherty, because these two guys are real idiots, and they don't know the first thing about respecting a girl. And I have always prided myself on treating a girl with absolute respect. And I want each and every one of you to know that I have the highest amount of respect that anyone could ever bestow on somebody that I have for each and every one of you. You are the most loyal, most dedicated, most devoted fans to what you believe in. You trust in whoever you believe in, and thank you so much for opening up your hearts to me. I sit here tonight with 3,000 subscribers, not quite, but I'm almost there. And after putting up over 3,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, which probably about 1,500 of you are girls, thank you so much for that. I know it's very uncharacteristic to find a guy on your way through the woods every single night searching up Descendants and Zombies videos, talking about Descendants and Zombies, saying he loves it so much. But I really do, because I drew inspiration from it. Definitely it was full of magic, it was full of life, and I loved it so much for the music, how the music brought the action-adventure to life after it was originally sketched to be an action-adventure, and leaving out the music. But it was just a beautiful, beautiful franchise, and I think it was the most successful since at least High School Musical. You know, it will be argued for forever that High School Musical is the Disney Channel movie that started the Disney Channel revolution. That's what it was called, and if not for the success of it, every other Disney Channel TV series and movie would have faded off into obscurity, and while that can be argued for forever, I think this is the most successful since the era that High School Musical captained and carried the proverbial torch for. I'm doing my best. I'm going to let you in a little secret. I'm doing my absolute best to keep these two franchises alive for you for forever. And I want you to know that you will hear everything good about Descendants and Zombies on this YouTube channel with a video uploaded every single day. I wanted to fall into a niche that would accept me as your hero, and I like to believe that I fell into the right one. I like to believe that I could fall into this niche time and time again, and you would forgive me over and over again for everything that I've said, everything that I've done, and thank you so much for that, because I had a lot of nights when I would, hang up the headset from a podcast, and I would wonder if I was providing you with great analogies. And as far as I'm concerned, I have the best Descendants and Zombies fans in the world. I may only have about 3,000 put up on this YouTube channel, but I have the best fans ever. And this has been the most fun that I've ever had in my life. And I've talked about a lot in podcasting over the years. 25 years is a long time to do this, close to 30 years I've done this for. And in 2018, I thought I was done. And I got a call from one of my friends after I'd hung up the headset from what I believe to have been my final podcast, and he said, "You got to go back." And I paused for a moment, and I said, "Why?" to myself, and then I asked the question, "Why?" to him, responding to him, and he said, "You're not ready to go." And I said, I thought I told my story and I completed it in the words of the Descendants cast. And he said, "No, you haven't told your story. You still got a lot more to say, and you still got a lot left in the tank." So after being persuaded by him and a couple of other friends that I had that I podcasted with in Florida, in the United Kingdom, in Australia, in Europe, I came back. I didn't know what I was going to talk about when I moved into this house. It was a beautiful location, absolutely gorgeous scenery. And I thought to myself, what could I create to inspire people to spread more kindness in this world? Because one thing that I've advocated for on this YouTube channel is that there is never enough kindness spread in this lifetime, along with a bit of a comical reprieve tied in with that. So I wanted to spread love and kindness. I wanted to inspire people to spread their own version of love and kindness. And I like to believe that I did that through the power of Disney and my commentaries and my comical reprieve, and through the power of Descendants and Zombies, who are the strongest force in the entire world. Let me just put it to you this way, guys. If you hit my subscribe button, I'll take a bullet for you every single time. Because I know how you feel about Dove Cameron. I know how you feel about Kylie Control, because I feel the same way. I thought Kylie Control was absolutely gorgeous ever since I first saw her on Bizarre and Raven's Home as Tessa and Jasmine. I think that she could be a princess in any Disney live action. It has been said that Ruby Rose Turner could portray Rapunzel in the live action Tangle, which reportedly has been put on hold after Snow White's flop in the box office. And I think the same thing can be said about Kylie Control. You've just got to give her more of an opportunity. I looked at the followers on the Descendants Facebook fan page today, and they have like 440,000 subscribers. I thought they had a whole lot more than that. Entirety on the social media platforms, including Facebook, X, Tumblr, TikTok, we have 10 million Descendants fans. But when you talk about other social media platforms that are kind of left out of the conversation, I think we could see a significant boost in subscribers. So what you're going to want to do is head over to their Facebook fan pages and boost the subscriber count. 440,000 are a lot of subscribers. I will give them that. But I will say this, they deserve a hell of a lot more. And people like Kylie Control deserve a hell of a lot more credit than what they've been giving. I've heard how people have been really hard on Kylie Control for calling her fans cuties. Let me put it to you this way. I would respect the hell out of Kylie Control if she would call me a cutie, because I've never been called that in my life. I can't remember the last time I've been told I love you. And I think the words I love you were never said enough in this lifetime, and that's why I created this podcast. I just wanted to spread a lot of kindness, and if I couldn't spread a message of kindness, then I didn't want to come back at all. So after coming back and falling into this niche, regardless if I drove a side-by-side through the woods, chased a white rabbit through the woods, and fell into this niche, I would do it time and time again. I would do it all over again if I had possession of a pocket watch and go back in time, because I'm very thankful of that. I loved Kylie Control's energy and how she was able to bring the best out of everybody she worked with, and she had such this positive energy that you could just very easily fall in love with and become very addicted to. I watch her music videos all the time on her Kylie Control Facebook fan page and on TikTok. They are absolutely fabulous. The choreographing is really at an all-time high. And let me just put it to you this way. I would love to work with Kylie Control. I just think that the fault of everybody is just not being able to leave Kylie Control's political point of view out of the conversation. And if anything, Kylie Control has inspired me to announce my nomination for President of the United States for the presidential race of 2028. I will be throwing my name into the running because Kylie Control deserves a president that she can be proud of, and I'm going to make a lot of changes. I'm going to finance Disney better. I'm going to finance the Descendants franchise. I'm going to bring it to life in a way that it's never been created before, and I'm going to ensure that these two franchises last for an eternity, because you guys have deserved better. You've heard enough negative reviews about Descendants and Zombies. You hear it all the time, and every review sounds the same. So when I launched this podcast in August of 2024, as we approach the one-year anniversary of the show, I wanted to create something that would separate my point of view and my commentaries from everybody else on YouTube, because everybody sounds the same. I appreciate diversity in this world. I appreciate how someone's opinions are different from everybody else, but when it came to Descendants and Zombies, I heard these commentaries and everybody's opinions sounded the same. So I wanted to come on here and be a bit stupid. I wanted to come on here and get away with a lot of stuff that I probably should have never gotten away with, and I wanted to make you laugh. I wanted to make no milk come out through your nose, as the old cliche saying goes. And if I couldn't do that, I felt like I let myself down, and I felt like I let all of you down, more importantly, because you are the YouTube algorithm. And it amazes me how the YouTube algorithm responds to these videos, because I sometimes upload 2 videos to a time, and both of them get recommended by the YouTube algorithm. Virtually everything that I upload gets recommended by the YouTube algorithm, no matter if I'm talking about Kylie, Ruby Rose Turner, who I'm dearly in love with and going to miss, in the Descendants franchise. Her birthday is on October 16th, and I am really, really excited to see where we go from here with Ruby Rose Turner. I think we haven't heard the last of her or seen the last of her in the Descendants franchise, and I want more of Ruby Rose Turner. I've always wanted the opportunity to be a part of these two franchises. I was involved with theater for years. I was involved with the drama club, and if there were 2 guys involved with the theater program in high school, I was one of the 2 in the gymnasium all the time learning the craft. So I eventually learned how to project your voice in the back of the auditorium so they could hear you. I learned how to change your voice and adapt the character or chemistry. It was a whole lot of fun. So I had the opportunity to work in a lot of stage productions like Dracula and Hamlet and A Midnight Summer's Dream, Romeo and Juliet, and I read the books and the stage productions and what went into it, and I studied it for forever, and that's why I've been saying that Disney has shafted me for what feels like a lifetime, because I could bring a lot of characters, especially newer characters, to life in a way that some people have desperately tried to convey through the power of effort sounds, which are 45 minutes of injuries and when you're in danger. I would love to do that. I would love to have my own kind of personality brought forth in a new character. I mean, if you can bring Mushu and Olaf to life time and time again, I would love to do it. I would have loved to have lent my voice to the animated Descendants special, The Royal Wedding, a couple of years ago. I think that was back in 2019. That was around the same time my best friend died from cancer. So I was dealing with that, and then of course I had a lot of stuff going on. Then people were DMing me about Cameron Boyce passing away because of complications with epilepsy, and then people were asking me to do interviews about it. So I was doing interviews at the time about Cameron Boyce's passing. People were emailing me about it all the time. My interviews blew up, and then my tribute videos for Cameron Boyce achieved worldwide popularity on YouTube. And just to let you guys know, I will be doing more Cameron Boyce tribute videos for both his birthday and his passing coming up on July 6th. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're going to want to do that. I want to say this about the tribute they had in The Rise of Red for Cameron Boyce, saying it's what Carlos would have wanted. Perhaps it was what Carlos would have wanted. But I think that he deserved a hell of a lot better tribute than what he got. The off-screen tributes from Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson were incredible. So why couldn't the on-screen tribute for Cameron Boyce in the Descendants 4 Rise of the Red movie following his passing 6 years after his death, 5 to 6 years, why couldn't it have been just as impressive and enthralling? I think that, Disney reaches a point where they don't forget about you and they consider you a Disney legend like they did Miley Cyrus years ago. But the thing is, I think that they can remember you more significantly than what they did for Carlos. I think that his character was more significant in Descendants than he was ever put over for being. And he brought the best out of himself, and he brought the best out of everybody he worked with, from Peyton List to Dove Cameron to Sophia Carson. And Descendants was a profound success because of him, and we miss him dearly because of it. I have a lot of people subscribed to this YouTube channel who were #1 fans of him. I haven't forgotten about you, and we will make sure that his legacy lives on forever on this YouTube channel. All I want from you is to hit that subscribe button so we can ensure that his legacy lives on forever. When it comes to Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, they will get what they want, and they will get it through me, because I will do my best. I will give you my all, and in all my power, I will make sure that his legacy lives on forever, eternally, through my voice and this YouTube channel, just as I will make sure the legacies of all your favorite Descendant stars, as we talk about them individually or collectively, will live on forever and eternally, because I know how much these two franchises mean to you as a whole. It was an incredible franchise. It was an incredible journey for me 10 years ago, and for the better part of the last 10 years, you guys have opened up your hearts to me as we say happy birthday to Kylie Control today, and you have never ever quit on me, and you've always held me by the hand and let me know everything was going to be okay. When I was at my lowest points and I couldn't find my way from out of obscurity, you always showed me the light out of darkness, and I can never thank you enough for it. Have I always been a Dove Cameron fan? Ever since I knew about her. Have I always been a Kylie Control fan? Ever since I knew about her. You better believe it. And I know it's really uncharacteristic to hear a guy talking about people like Kylie Control and Dove Cameron this way, but if nobody else is going to put them over fabulously, I guess I'm going to have to be the one guy to do it and take a bullet for you guys each and every single time, every single night if I've got to, on this podcast. I love recording podcasts when the sun sets, because that's when my thoughts are really all together. I have never, ever prepared any written statements before a podcast. I just jump on here and I speak from my heart, and that's the key to being a great YouTube creator and being one of the greatest of all time. If you have a very rare ability to be able to speak from your heart without preparing written statements in a notebook or on paper, then you have a gift. And it is very hard, no matter how many years you study journalism, to put together written statements and to put together a podcast that's going to be compelling and engaging for people. You have to really find a niche, fall into that niche, and hope. One can only hope that niche is going to accept you. And, years ago when I saw the popularity of Descendants, I didn't recognize the popularity of Descendants. I posted my first commentary on Descendants back in 2015 when I looked at my original archives on my original podcast from my original YouTube channel. And it blew my mind the support that video got. And it blew my mind the original Dove Cameron videos I was throwing up a decade and a half ago were getting after people were telling me about Dove Cameron, his situation with Ryan McCartan, and of course the Liv and Maddie TV series and its popularity. So I took it under advisement. I thought about what I could create, and I wanted to create something devoted to your favorite Descendant stars who have been such a huge inspiration to each and every one of you. I wish they would have had more creative freedom. I wish that people like Kylie Control and Ruby Rose Turner's friendship would have been put on display more, and I think her character Bridget, after a phenomenal job portraying how bullying can have a profound effect on somebody, because I was a victim of it. I've been very honest about that. I was pushed in the lockers, tripped in the hallways more times than I count and want to remember. But I always had you guys. Every single time I was bullied, I'd come home, jump on my podcast ever since '99, and I would talk about it. And I would talk about my favorite things about pop culture. It could be NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears related, some movie or music I was listening to at the time. I thought nobody was ever going to hear it. Nobody was ever going to listen to it. My parents gave me the money to finance my own YouTube channel eventually, and I launched it. By 2009, my dad passed away in 2014, and I've been carrying on their legacy. And I've been kind of carrying on my mother's legacy as a teacher when she used to spread kindness as a grade 4 and 5 teacher. Literally almost 20 years, 2 decades have passed since she passed away from her battle with cancer, a very extensive one. And I like to believe I'm living vicariously through her memory by spreading her message that she spread over 20 years ago as a high school teacher. So I like to believe I'm not letting them down. I like to believe I'm not letting each and every one of you down. Let me just say this. Trust in me, and I'm never ever going anywhere. Trust in me, and I will never ever let you down. Some of you have become my best friends. You may not know this, but some of you have become my best friends. You're the ones I tell everything to, because I love building relationships with people. And what I mean by building relationships with people is knowing that I can tell you anything on a podcast because I've journaled all of my life. So I can kind of feel really sympathetic towards people like Dove Cameron and Kylie Cantrell who have journaled all of their lives too. It is very important when somebody journals and is able to tell you how he or she feels, because in words is a very powerful way, being able to put it into words, which is a gift really on more than one circumstance. Being able to put it into words is just amazing. And I think that that is something that sometimes is underappreciated in this lifetime. So that's something that I've always wanted to do when the emotions are really too high. Just as, when the emotions are too high through the power of a script, they use music to tell you how they're feeling. Well, writing it in a journal is a very powerful way of doing it. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for Dove Cameron being able to do that. I have the most respect in the world for each and every one of you, and that is very uncharacteristic for a guy to be saying to Descendants and Zombies fans, because there are very few guys that would sit for 45 minutes every single night on his podcast behind a microphone and tell you how he feels about it. But I do it because I appreciate each and every one of you, and I've recognized the popularity of Descendants for what feels like forever and what feels like an eternity. Do I regret having said anything I have about Dove Cameron's relationships with Ryan McCartan and Thomas Doherty? No, because of the unprofessionalism they exemplified, and I'll be saying more where that goes in upcoming podcasts that I'll be throwing up on this YouTube channel, but I will do it in a professional manner because it deserves to be talked about, because Dove Cameron has metamorphosized into an incredible human being with the release of the Too Much compilation, now Part 2 of Alchemical, and I've been seeing her performances. They are absolutely fabulous, but two also are the performances of Kylie Cantrell. I want to say happy birthday to her again, in case you didn't hear me the first time, and if anything, she has given me inspiration and incentive to run for President of the United States by 2028. Do I think I could beat Donald Trump in the presidential election? Yes, and I'll tell you why I think I could beat him in the presidential election, because of each and every one of you. You have showed me tremendous amount of support. You have never quit on me, and I just want to give you a president that you can believe in. So if I didn't think I could beat Donald Trump, then I would have never ever said that on this podcast. But I know I have the support of 10 million of you, and as long as that support is not going anywhere, I know I can do anything. I wish I was here 10 years ago doing podcasts about Descendants and Zombies. I probably only did one or two with them. And then by 2018, when Zombies came out and the popularity reached an all-time high, I probably should have started podcasting about it then, because I probably have 1 million subscribers now. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have the best fans in the world. I have fallen into the best niche that anyone could have ever possibly fallen into. And I never ever want to let go of that. And I know you're never ever going to quit on me when everybody else did. When everybody else quit on me in my lifetime, I had each and every one of you. I had each and every one of you to fall back on. I had each and every one of you to tell everything to. And I don't regret having said anything that I ever did to each and every one of you, because you deserve to hear the best commentaries about Descendants and Zombies and the best critique opinions that anyone could offer you. And I like to believe that I did that. There are 500 videos uploaded to this platform every single day about Descendants and Zombies, and all they want to achieve from you is to get you to hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to hit my subscribe button, because I have almost 3,000 subscribers put up on this YouTube channel. I don't care about the money. I don't care about monetization. I don't care about the popularity. What I care about is you. And you finding the content that you can find time and appreciating. You can leave this YouTube channel. You can exit off right now. You can go to someone else's YouTube channel with stupid videos about Descendants and Zombies that make no sense. But at least I'm a guy who sits behind his podcast every single night and tells you how he feels about Descendants and Zombies, how much he appreciates the heart of Ruby Rose Turner, for how much kindness she exemplified through the portrayal of the character Bridget. Nobody could have done it better than Ruby Rose Turner, which is why I'm going to miss her dearly. I followed Ruby all of her life ever since she was 12 years old. I followed Kylie ever since she was at least 11. And I love them dearly, and and their friendship should be put on display more. That of the Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, Vanessa Hudgens, and Ashley Tisdale has been put on display for hundreds of times over the years, if not thousands. So why can't we put more emphasis on the friendship between Kylie and Ruby, who've been friends ever since they were 9, and watched Descendants ever since they were 9 years old, dreaming to be a part of the franchise? I just want to give them an enjoyable experience, because I know they watch these videos. That's the thing. And that's what really irks me. They watch these videos about idiots talking about Descendants and zombies who know nothing about the franchise, haven't got a clue. So I can only hope that they hear my voice every single night when they're searching themselves up. I know there was a point in Kylie's life when she refused to Google herself because of all the negative reviews she was hearing about herself, about her political point of view when it came to Donald Trump. And I want to say this, don't worry, Kylie. I'm going to fix it because I'm coming to live with you, and I'm going to run for president of the United States, or I'm going to live with one of my friends in the U.S. and run for president of the United States and give you a president you can finally be proud of. I'm going to move this whole set into the White House, address the nation every night at 8 p.m. on YouTube, and we're going to fix America and make it better, and we're going to finance Descendants so you get at least 15 more movies for the next 15 years, a year apart. Descendants is shot every 2 to 3 years. I'll make sure it's shot every year, and I'll make it mandatory, and I'll finance Disney Plus for homes in America who haven't got it, and Disney Channeled. We'll make a lot of magic happen. But the point is, I'm going to give you a president that, something can be done about this. And I'm going to give you a president that you can be proud of. So if you guys support my presidential campaign, please, one can only hope that you find time in hitting the subscribe button. Either that or I'm going to go back to pro wrestling and beat the shit out of Justin Bieber and become WWE champion, and Ruby Rose Turner is going to fall in love with me or something. One can only hope. There's just something about Ruby's personality that I dearly love, and I think she's one in a million. And I want her to know that if she watches this podcast, that I just adore her dearly. I really do. If you can excuse me for a moment, it's really dark in this room. I have to turn on lights. I haven't got my reciprocal lights yet. I got to spend $350 next week. Oh, Jesus. $350 on reciprocal lights is a lot of money. But I do it for each and every one of you. There we go. Let there be light. I guess that saying is true. Yeah, I love these two franchises, and I wanted to create something special for each and every one of you, and I like to believe that I did it. Oh, everything is so clear. Spending $500 on a camera will get you places on YouTube. I want to say happy birthday to Kylie Cantrell. I'm literally spelling her name out in alphabet cereal every morning, and I dearly love her to death, and I want her to know that, if she can't find a guy that appreciates her in her lifetime, then there's obviously something wrong with his heart. And I want to put this message out to every girl out there that may be struggling with love or your own situation. If you can't find a guy who appreciates you for who you are and what you perceive yourself in this life, then he's not worth holding on to. A man's measured by the way that he thinks. For those of you who have heard that saying before or are unfamiliar with it, you know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who don't know what that means is, when somebody says a man is measured by the way that he thinks, it is about how he appreciates you and how he understands you. So if you can find a man who appreciates you for who you are as a person and understands how you feel about every situation and that you can tell everything to, because that's a really important one too. If you can find a guy who you can tell everything to, then he's worth holding on to for the rest of your life. I know that sounds really uncharacteristic too from a guy who has no business offering you relationship advice, but if they can't understand you for what you love and what you appreciate and your family values, then you're wasting your time. And I want to say that to Kylie Cantrell. I just want her to find something on YouTube so she'll start Googling herself again and hear something nice about her for the first time and what probably feels like forever for her. Because I know she's fallen victim to a lot of criticism, which there's really no need of, and I just want to give her something that she can be proud of. And I think I'm going to start shooting these videos every night with the lights actually on. What I got used to was reciprocal lights. So Kylie had lights over her TV, so I combined reciprocal lights and icicle lights in front of my TV, and I did the whole Kylie Cantrell thing. And then I had this friend that had reciprocal lights. We just recently broke off contact, and she had reciprocal lights going all around her room. So I think when I spend $350 this week at Best Buy, that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, happy birthday to Kylie Cantrell. I want her to know that she's not alone, no matter what situation or circumstance have befallen her. And I want you guys to know that you're not alone, and you can come here to hear something nice about Descendants anytime that you want, both Descendants and Zombies. Meg Donnelly's birthday is the next one up on the calendar. That will happen on July 25th, I believe. July 25th, 2000 was when she was born. Where was I in the year 2000? I think I was playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I was watching Britney Spears at the heights of her popularity, probably. That's what I was doing. And then my friend had an obsession with Britney Spears and Daniel Fishel from Boy Meets World. Fun times. But I do remember playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas when Meg Donnelly was born, and I remember being a huge wrestling fan when Khali was born in 2005. That was when John Cena was coming into his own. He's retiring this year, but that's a different story for a different time. So I've got this Descendants video giving you some insight, or some supposed insight, on Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland before the title was confirmed. I believe I've shown this one before on my YouTube channel, but what I'm going to put together for you here is a reaction video because I love putting myself up in the corner. I seemingly can't get enough of that, and you guys love it so much when I do that. So I'm going to put myself up in the corner for the purpose of a reaction video after I brought the light back into this place with no reciprocal lights. And I've announced my presidential campaign, so that I've got that out of the way. What do you say? We watch this video together. I will see you in OBS Studio. I have become obsessed with TikTok. I didn't know there was so much Descendants content to be found on TikTok. So every single night I'm scrolling through the TikTok feeds, and I'm looking up videos of Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner. Man, I miss Rube so much. And I seemingly can't get enough of it. And I have these two Japanese idiots in Japan to thank for that. Man, well, that just goes to show how far chicken balls and Chinese food will get you. Man, that's amazing. You know, how crazy are people to come up with this concept of TikTok, just, sitting around talking one night? Let's make a video platform and get like 50 million videos uploaded, 50 million subscribers. I wish I could do that. Guys, thank you so much for hitting my subscribe button and ringing my bell to stay up to date with notifications on what's happening on this YouTube channel. I look forward to watching this Descendants 5 update, which is pretty much AI, which is what I try to explain to you all the time on this YouTube channel, so you want to refrain from watching AI videos. But you can trust in me. I'm a great guy, and I love to have a relationship, a friendship with his audience, because I think it's very critical for a YouTube creator to have, because if you don't understand, if you don't have a mutual understanding between yourself and your audience, there's really no point of you creating YouTube. But I like to believe that I inspire people to create YouTube, create your own videos, and offer your own perspective on Descendants and Zombies. So what do you say we get to this video, offering us some insight on Descendants 5. Don't forget to ring my bell to stay up to date with notifications as we watch this video together and bring a bit of magic into all of our lives.
We have some big news. Descendants 5 is officially in production. That's right, Disney is moving forward with the next installment of the franchise, and there's a lot to be excited about. In this video, I'm breaking down everything we know so far, cast updates, the plot, whether Dove Cameron is involved, and what's happening with the trailer.
Obviously, Dove Cameron is not involved.
The story will pick up after Descendants: The Rise of Red, which came out in 2024. Red and Chloe will now have to face the consequences of their time-traveling adventure. While Disney hasn't revealed too many plot details yet, we do know that most of the movie will take place in present-day Wonderland. That setting alone promises all kinds of colorful chaos. Returning to the cast is Leonardo Nam as Maddox Hatter, and this time we're meeting his son, Max Hatter, played by Brendan Tremblay. We're also getting some fresh faces from other Disney worlds, which is such a fun twist. Alexandra Bird is playing Luis Madrigal, the son of Luisa from Encanto. As an Encanto fan, I think this crossover
I don't know about this. I don't know about introducing newer Disney characters to the franchise. You should stick with
Kiara Romero joins as Hazel Hook, who seems to be a descendant of both Captain Hook and Harry Hook. Xavier Garrett plays Felix, the son of Derfacilia from The Princess and the Frog, which hints at some possible dark magic elements.
I love
Joel
that musical.
Ouellette is in the lineup as Robbie, the son of Robin Hood, so maybe we'll get some clever trickster energy too. Then we've got Ryan McEwen and Dayton Paradis cast as the Smee twins. It's not confirmed if they're the same as Squeaky and Squirmy from Descendants 3, but either way, they're part of the Pirate Crew's legacy. And last but definitely not least, Liamani Segura will be playing Princess Pink, who is Red's sister and another daughter of the Queen of Hearts. With both sisters in Wonderland, things are bound to get intense.
Oh, there's going to be some
controversy. Now, the big question on a lot of people's minds,
some sibling quarrel.
What about Dove Cameron? She's been a huge part of this franchise, and many fans are hoping to see her one more time. However, after the tragic passing of Cameron Boyce, Dove shared that returning wouldn't feel right. In her words, what happened was so incredibly heart-wrenching for all of us, and something we could not recover from.
The book because he
died. I think that the idea of making another movie, while it would be nostalgic for all of us, and while it would be healing in a lot of ways, it might also be super wrong. Totally understandable. The emotional weight of that loss still hangs over the franchise, and if Dove chooses to stay out of it, that decision deserves nothing but respect. That said, the idea of even a brief cameo is something fans continue to hope for. Seeing her pass the torch to Red and Chloe would be a really powerful full-circle moment, but only if it feels right for her. As for the plot, the official synopsis teases that Wonderland will host the Kingdom Cup Games, a massive event where something goes wrong. Red and Chloe Charming must step up to stop an unexpected villain.
That's the perfect way to introduce Hercules' son or daughter into the franchise, where something goes wrong during the Kingdom Cup Games.
Can be dangerous, especially when you mess with the fabric of time. That alone sets the tone for a high-stakes magical adventure.
Sure
On the production side, filming officially started on April 2nd. The announcement came through the official Descendants Instagram, which shared a behind-the-scenes photo of the cast holding the production slate. While there's no exact wrap date,
I love that
Disney
photo,
is
by the way.
for a 2026
so
release window,
and the color schemes
meaning the shoot will likely be pretty fast-paced. Now that things are rolling, we can expect more updates to start trickling in over the next few months. As for the trailer, no, it's not out yet, but we might see one by late 2025 if things stay on schedule.
Summer 2026 is
when it does drop, it'll likely give us a first look at the Kingdom Cup games, a few sneak peeks of the new cast in action, and maybe a hint at the villain Red and Chloe will be facing. I'm expecting a trailer that blends fun fantasy and a bit of a classic Descendants
critical part to the script.
So that's the scoop on Descendants 5. New characters, a wild setting, and some serious consequences from their last adventure. It all sounds like the next chapter is going to be bigger and bolder than ever. And with filming officially underway, we're finally getting closer to seeing how the story unfolds. Let me know in the comments who you're most excited to see. All right,
Yeah, I'm most excited to see, Ruby return. Why didn't Ruby come back as Rapunzel's daughter or Rapunzel herself? Why did you have to take Ruby out of the franchise in its entirety? That's why I want to have $150 billion of access to Disney's funds and have full creative freedom and just watch me go. Unleash me on Disney. Give me access to the $158 billion of revenue and watch me create. Because trust in me, I will never let you down. You didn't have to say goodbye to Ruby. You just didn't have to let her go. She'll always say she wanted to pursue other avenues and other projects. But I firmly believe that there is an endless opportunity to create with people like Dove Cameron and Ruby Rose Turner. You just have to give them a chance. And I don't know about you guys, but I would just love to be the voice that says, one cannot expect to mess with the fabric of time and not expect consequences. You didn't think the story was over, did you? This story is far from over. And I have a more powerful voice than China Anne McClain ever did, representing Uma. I think her time is long overdue and surpassed in Descendants, and it's time to pass the torch to me. Another reason why Hollywood has always shafted me. I know I have a beautiful voice and could be the voiceover for Descendants, and thank you guys so much for making me just that. Making me the voice of Descendants of Zombies for the better part of the last 10 years. It has been an honor and a privilege, and there is no place I would rather be than right here tonight as the sun sets on all of our lives, sitting behind this podcast microphone, critiquing Descendants of Zombies in the way that it should be and was always meant to be. Thank you so much for making me your hero that you found in yours truly. Give me a second to switch back over, and we will close this thing out with a bit of Descendants magic. Yeah, I would have loved to have been the voiceover guy for Descendants. One cannot expect to mess with the fabric of time and not expect consequences. You didn't think this was the end of the story now, did you? Because this story is far from over. And one can trust in that because this story is far from over. Take it from a guy who studied folk literature for the better part of, 20 years. I love doing it, and I loved appreciating characters that didn't seem to have so much significance in stories like Tangled and Hercules. It's amazing how many characters have yet to see their introduction to the Descendants franchise. As we say happy birthday to Kylie Cantrell on her 20th birthday. Thank you so much for joining me after weeks of promotion for this. And if you have not shared this YouTube channel with your friend who probably has a YouTube account, who probably would appreciate this content just as much as what you do, share it. Hit the share button. And don't forget to hit my subscribe button on this beautiful evening. There's just something about dusk. I love looking at the stars, and many nights when I couldn't podcast for the better part of 7 years after I recorded what I thought was my final podcast in 2018, I thought about, what if I ever had the chance to podcast again? Would I ever go back to doing it? And you guys brought me back because you wanted a hero. And for that, from my heart to yours, from one heart to another, I simply want to say thank you. I love you all dearly. You will never live long enough to know how much I love you and how much I appreciate you for just being a fan and just being here. And forever holding a special place in my heart. And that's more than you're going to hear from any other commentator devoting his time to critiquing, he or she's time to critiquing Descendants of Zombies. I talk about it the way it's meant to be. And we will do it again tomorrow night for those of you who join me. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. And if you're a first-time watcher who just subscribed and who has yet to subscribe, hopefully I've given you a reason and persuaded you to hit that subscribe button because I need your help. And I love you dearly. I am just as much in the corner of your favorite Descendants stars as you are, and I forever and always will be a huge supporter of Descendants and Zombies. With that being said, what do you say we take this opportunity on this beautiful night just after dusk to go spread some kindness in someone's life who needs it? Because I can guarantee you there is a friend of yours who you probably haven't talked to in a long time that you probably should call or DM and just say the words, I love you, because you want to. And you will forever make a special impact and forever leave an imprint on their heart that they will never forget you for. And that's really what we're put on this earth to do, is help each other. You can criticize me all you want, but we're put on this earth to help each other. And I just want to spread a message of kindness that I can only hope my voice is heard through your eyes. Thank you so much. From my heart to yours, Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a privilege. With that being said, let's go spread some kindness right now. Bye, YouTube. We will do it again tomorrow night.